Let's move into another section of what I want to discuss with you today, and that's the importance of our Declaration of Independence. And it's unique for several reasons. It's one of the most important documents in all of human history. There's never been one quite like that. It joins many other important documents like the Magna Carta, like the 1620 Mayflower Compact, like the 1638 Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, which, by the way, were written by a pastor, Thomas Hooker. My grandparents lived on Hooker Road when I was a kid growing up in Chattanooga. I had no idea who Hooker was, but he's this minister that wrote the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, which became their Constitution. Our Constitution is patterned after Connecticut's Constitution, which is why they call themselves the Constitution State. Interesting little bit of trivia, again, that you don't hear in our schools. And many, many other documents like this. That's just tip of the iceberg. The Declaration's characteristics. It's like a spiritual or religious document. This is confirmed by Calvin Coolidge, our 30th president. Coolidge said, in its main features, the Declaration of Independence is a spiritual document. Equality, liberty, popular sovereignty, the rights of man, these are not elements which we can see and touch. They're ideals. They have their source and their roots in religious convictions. If we lose our religious convictions, the principles of our Declaration will also perish. If all men are created equal, that's final. If they are endowed with inalienable rights, that's final. If governments derive their just power from the consent of the governed, that also is final. No advance, no progress can be made beyond these propositions. If anyone wishes to deny their truth and their soundness, the only direction in which he can proceed historically is not forward, but backward toward the time when there was no equality, no rights of the individual, no rule of the people. Those who wish to proceed in that direction cannot lay claim to progress. But folks, we have a lot of folks in this country today call themselves progressives. And guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to progress away from these most important principles, back toward the time when we didn't have equality and freedom and liberty. So we need to remember we've got a problem of worldviews in this country, and this is all part of it. After the Constitutional Convention, Benjamin Franklin was asked, what kind of government have you given us? He replied, a republic, if you can keep it. And that still rings true today, doesn't it? A constitutional republic, if we can keep it. And it's slipping away. Arresting this slide away from freedom is the purpose of this discussion. And very briefly, let me give you a good little analogy of the differences between a democracy, a republic, and a constitutional republic. Let's take an example where we have 3 wolves and 2 sheep. In a democracy, we're going to vote for what's for dinner tonight. I believe we're going to have lamb chops, right? 3 wolves, 2 sheep. Let's see what happens if we change that to a Republican form of government. In a Republican form of government, you elect people, your representatives, in this case, to decide what's for dinner tonight. Is anything going to change? Oh, we're still having lamb chops, right? Let's go to a constitutional republic. In a constitutional republic, nobody has the authority to decide what somebody else is going to have for dinner in the first place, and the sheep are armed under the Second Amendment. Makes a huge difference when somebody tells you that we're a democracy. They're either very lazy or they don't have a clue about the formation and the structure of our nation. This is critically important for us to know.